Welcome to Therapeutic Yoga. Today's class, we are going to be focusing on the low back. So one thing that I want to start with is to kind of give you a general premise as to why a lot of people have back pain. One, we are a sitting nation. Because we're a sitting nation, we create these tremendous imbalances in the muscles around our pelvis and our low back. So I wanted to quickly explain that so that as we move on to the yoga class, you have a little bit of an understanding as to why we're doing the yoga poses and somewhat physical therapy related stretches today, as well as some of the strengthening and core training exercises that we're going to do. So as a thank you to a fabulous physical therapist named Vladimir Yanda, he coined the term in the physical therapy world called the lower crossed syndrome. So I'm going to very easily explain lower crossed syndrome to you. So if you look at this little skeleton, the blue area is the lumbar spine or your low back. The area below it is your pelvis, and then this little thing here would be where your leg would go downward. The concept of lower cross syndrome is that there is in fact an X. So an X of your low back where you have weaknesses and where you have tightnesses. And so what we're going to do today is attempt to accomplish stretching out the tight muscles and strengthening the weak muscles. So of the cross that is from the back upper to the front lower, the main muscles that get tight are your back muscles. The main muscles that get tight are your hip muscles, specifically the hip flexors that attach to your spine. If we look at the other part of that cross, so the cross that goes from the top front to the back bottom, that's the part of the cross where the muscles get weak. And so, of course, the muscles that get weak are your lower abdominals and pelvic floor and diaphragm and everything that constitutes what we call your core in the front, as well as your gluteal muscles in the back, specifically your big gluteus maximus muscle, which is the large mover of your body. So what we're going to do today is to tackle an entire yoga class to focus on stretching the back, stretching the hip flexors, so there's that one part of the cross, strengthening the abdominals in the front part of the core, as well as strengthening the gluteals. So let's get started. We're going to begin with doing a easy breathing technique that is a nice technique to manage stress. It's called the square breath. We've done it many times before if you come to my class. I think it's a very important breathing technique for every person to learn. It's very different than a lot of breathing techniques for stress, anxiety, and depression. This particular breathing technique is a preparatory technique. Now, what that means is if you know you're going to be stressed, you can do the breathing technique before you put yourself in the situation that you're going to be stressed. A great time to think about doing it right now is, all right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to open my email and I'm going to read the newspaper, or I'm going to open the news if you're doing it on an electronic format. Before you do that, allow yourself to do some of the square breath, and you might not notice the same stress responses happening in your body that normally happen. Can't promise that it's not the case, but I do want to give you this breathing technique so that you can start to kind of integrate it into your daily life, while right now we're doing some things that we know can anticipate giving us stress, like going to the grocery store or anywhere that we have to really leave our homes. So find yourself in a nice seated position on your bolster or something similar to a bolster. Once you're there, allow yourself to gently cross your legs into what's called easy pose. If you have really tight hips and you are in a position right now that your knees are way above your hips, it might be easier for you to go ahead and just gently rest your legs out into a straighter position, or even further out into a position to take up some of the slack from your tight hips. Once you have yourself in the position of comfort for you, The first thing I want you to do is just kind of rock and roll your pelvis. So kind of tilt your pelvis back and forward a couple times. And then once you've done that, find the center of the road or the middle of the range of your tuck and your tilt. Then from here, lengthen your spine, sit nice and tall. Allow yourself to feel like you're as tall as you can be in sitting. And then check in with your legs. Right now, is it really easy for you to pick your legs up? If so, take a nice deep inhale, and on your exhale, hinge a little tiny bit at your hips to put some weight in your legs. I can't pick up my legs right now, so I know that I've made my legs part of my base of support to my spine. Allow ourselves to get a nice good position of our shoulders here. So take your hands to the center of your heart, take an inhale and lift your arms up, turn your palms to the ceiling, and then as you exhale, pull your shoulder blades back and down, elbows into the back pocket. Now squeeze between those shoulder blade muscles and then gently rest your hands on your thigh. Lengthen through your neck and settle your chin into your throat. Place your tongue on the roof of the mouth, the resting position of your jaw, and allows us to really create an efficient breathing pattern here. And then if you would like, gently close your eyes. Now envision, if you can, in your mind's eye, a square. It can be a square block, it can be a square on a chalkboard, it can be just a square that you've drawn on a piece of paper. And then what I want you to do once you've imagined that square is I want you to take your mind's eye or your visualization to the bottom left corner of that square. Now that you're in your mind thinking of that bottom left corner of that square, I want you to take an inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and move up the left side of the square. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Move across the top of the square. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move down the right side of the square. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Starting back in that bottom left corner. All right, let's do this 4 times. Visualize your square, you guys. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. How'd you do? Could you keep the visualization of your square the entire time you were focusing on inhaling, retaining, exhaling, and retaining? Really nice technique to do throughout the day. Anytime like you feel you're going to just be in a stressful moment. It could be a phone call or whatever the situation is. All right, let's move on with today's class and let's really create some good balance in our low back today. So let's begin in sitting, doing what's called half moon in yoga, but it's a modified seated half moon in yoga. Take your hands to the center over your heart. Take a nice deep inhale and lift your arms up nice and high. And then as you exhale, drop your right hand down to your bolster or whatever it is that you're sitting on. With your left hand now from your pelvis, inhale and reach your rib cage up. And then as you exhale, bend your right elbow and side bend over. Now really make sure that your armpit is rotated up to the ceiling. Also make sure you're sitting down into your left sit bone. Take a deep inhale, lift the rib cage up. As you exhale, side bend over. One more breath, nice deep inhaling up. And then as you exhale, side bend over. Now hold that position. Can you take a deep inhale into your diaphragm, allowing your belly to push outward? And then as you exhale, can you relax that air outward? Inhaling, lifting the arm back up, and then exhaling, dropping the hand down. Hands to heart. Take an inhale, lifting the hands nice and high. Exhaling, dropping the left hand down onto the bolster. Now with the right side of the rib cage, inhale, reach the rib cage upward towards your ceiling. And as you exhale, bend the left elbow and side bend into the left arm. Right armpit, turn it up towards the ceiling. Right sit bone, sit down into it so the space you're lengthening is in your back. Take a deep inhale here through the rib cage. And then as you exhale, side bend a little further. Hopefully you feel that in the right part of your low back. Nice deep inhale inward. And then as you exhale, side bend a little bit further. Hold it right here. Deep inhale into your diaphragm if you can, right into that belly. And then as you exhale, gently exhaling that air out. Inhaling the arm back up, and then as you exhale, dropping the hand down. Now, we're going to be going onto our hands and knees, but we want to keep the bolster on our mat. So gently just kind of sweep your feet to the back of your mat, rotate your bolster 90 degrees. From here, what that's going to allow you to do is essentially just straddle your bolster. Once you straddle your bolster, check in that your knees are hip distance apart. Then look back and make sure that you can't see your feet or your ankles on the inside or the outside of your knees. Stack your hips directly up with your knees. And then once you're in that position, allow yourself to walk your hands forward so that your wrists and elbows stack directly underneath your shoulders. Check in with your hands for a second. Make sure it's that index finger that's pointing directly away from you, and really open up those thumbs inward as much as you can. Spread out the outer three fingers, but make sure that you don't have any weight on those outer three fingers. Weight-bearing part of your hand is your index knuckle all the way down to your thumb and into the palm of your hand. So make sure that that's where you feel the weight in both hands. Now just hold this position for a second. Shoulder blades back and down, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gaze down to your thumbs. Staying here for just one nice deep inhale and exhale. So can you inhale and just let your belly sink, but keep your spine stable? And then can you exhale and pull your belly up and in, but not let your spine move? Very nice. Cat-cows for me now. So inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back, lengthen the neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, pull that belly up nice and high, arch the back, tuck the tailbone, spread the shoulder blades, lengthen the neck and bring that chin to your chest. Inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back, lengthen the neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, curl everything up and under, really tuck that tailbone under today, lengthen the neck, chin into your chest, gaze to your belly button. One more time. Inhaling, sinking the belly, sinking the spine, lifting the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, neck nice and long and chin up. And then exhale, pull that belly button in, arch and tuck that tailbone, spread the shoulder blades, bring that chin to your chest and look inward. Now, can you walk your hands up onto your bolster? Allow yourself to be in a partial kneeling here. Really allow yourself to tuck your tailbone, arch your back as much as you can, and slowly sit down onto your heels. Stay right here, take a nice deep inhale, exhale, tuck that tailbone under, and very gently, the crown of your head, begin to bring the crown of your head towards your bolster. Now really focus on your pelvis here. How much can you slide that tailbone and tuck it under? I kind of like to think about it as you're a dog and you just got in trouble and you're taking that tailbone and tucking it right underneath you. Sad puppy. So see if you can take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, really focus on pulling those abdominals in and tucking that tailbone under.
2 more breaths here. Nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, tucking that tailbone under, really using those abdominals to stretch that low back area. 1 more breath. Nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, tucking the tailbone, tightening the abdominals, dropping the head. Slowly bringing yourself back up onto hands and knees now, working a little bit through the side of our body, but again, trying to focus on that area of our low back where we have really 2 key muscles that keep our back tight. So from here, where I want you to begin is take your left hand, place it on your bolster, take your right hand and bring it to the left side of your mat. So it's kind of like your hands are lined one on top of the other. Stack your hips directly on top of your knees. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, tuck your tailbone under. Start to push yourself back and see if you can rest your forehead on your left hand. Go as close as you can. From here with your right hand, take an inhale and reach the hand upward. And then as you exhale, guys, tuck your tailbone under as you sit a little further. Try that again for me. Inhale, reach the right arm further. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under and try to sit a little further. Slowly walk yourself back up into hands and knees. And once you're there, right hand, place it on the bolster. Left hand, place it on the mat in front of the bolster so that they're kind of lined or stacked one in front of the other. Have yourself so that your hips are on top of your knees. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, really tuck that tailbone under and get yourself to the point that your forehead is resting on your right hand. Then with the left hand, take a deep inhale and reach it nice and high in front of you. And on the exhale, try to tuck that tailbone under even further. Deep inhale, lifting and reaching that left hand. And as you exhale, tucking further. One more time, guys. Inhale, reaching with that left hand as high as you can. Exhaling, tucking that tailbone under and sitting even a little further. Slowly walking back up onto hands and knees. Going through 3 more cat-cows. Now that we've opened up the side and the back of our back, really focusing on the tailbone tucking under on this one. So I really want you to use your abdominals as much as you can to tuck that tailbone under. So take a deep inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades up, lengthen the neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, really curl that tailbone under. 2 more times. Inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, shoulder blades back, lengthen the neck and look upward. And then exhale, tuck that tailbone, abdominal into the spine, arch through the back, shoulder blades, chin to chest, look inward. And finally, inhaling, sinking, lifting that tailbone, lengthening that neck. And then exhaling. Walk the hands 1 more time up onto the bolster. Stay in that pelvic tilt, abdominals are tight, and slowly rest the crown of the head onto your bolster. Now this time, make it very passive. So the first time we worked on additionally tucking. Let yourself just rest for a moment. Take a deep inhale into your belly. As you breathe into your belly and your diaphragm comes down, you'll stretch your low back muscles, your guts, everything that's in that area. And then as you exhale, just slowly relax the air out. Deep inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale, just slowly relax the air out. This time when you inhale, feel it go all the way to your pelvic floor. Feel your pelvis spread. So take a deep inhale into your belly. And then slowly exhaling. All right, so we are going to get ourselves up on the bolster now into an inversion. So let me talk you how to do that safely and not allow yourself to cause any injury to your low back. So find yourself
on your bolster. Once you are on the bolster, scoot yourself to the very edge of the bolster so that literally over half of your thigh is resting off of the bolster cushion, whatever it is that you're using. Once you are in that position, then allow yourself to come down onto the lower arm. Take the upper arm and rest it down and drop down onto the lower elbow. Allow yourself to lay on your side, and then before you know it, as you rotate over onto your back, you should be somewhere in the center of your yoga bolster or your cushion. You can easily kind of move yourself as much as you feel you need to, but make sure where you're positioned on your yoga bolster is at about where your waistline is. So we want the entire pelvis to be resting on the bolster. One glorious thing about having a yoga bolster is it has handles, so it's easy to maneuver yourself to make sure that you're in a good alignment. Now, once you're there, let's begin with merely just bringing the knees to the chest for a minute. And here's what I want you to think about as you're in this position. Your pelvis is up in the air, your rib cage is below your pelvis. All of your guts are pushing up and into your diaphragm. So this gives you the opportunity, if you can imagine, to do a weighted bicep curl of your diaphragm muscle. So lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and take a deep inhale into your belly. Legs may even move as you do that. And then as you exhale, just slowly settle your knees to your chest. Nice deep inhale into your belly. Your legs are the resistance, so are the guts. And then as you exhale, slowly pull those knees to the chest. One more time. Inhale all of your air into your diaphragm. And then as you exhale, pull your belly up and into your chest. All right. So we've already done a fairly decent job of beginning to open up through our low back. Now we need to start to tackle stretching through these hip flexors. We are going to do it in this position. So take your left knee and bring it to your chest. Hug it in nice and close. With your right leg now, take an inhale and kick your leg straight out away from you. Then as you exhale, attempt to pull your heel towards the floor. Now, if you have tight hip flexors, I'm with you. You're going to see that your knee bends on that right leg. That's what we're going to work on. Wherever your heel is now, if it is not to the floor, you're working on trying to get it towards the floor. Keep the left knee to your chest. Take an inhale here and straighten the knee. The heel will lift off the floor if your hip flexor is tight. And as you exhale, can you get that leg to the floor with the knee straight? Inhale, straighten the knee. And then as you exhale, can you get that leg straight to the floor? One more time. Inhale, straighten the knee, tighten those quadriceps, and then as you exhale, really use those glutes to pull that straight leg towards the floor. Take a deep inhale into your belly, and then exhaling here. Inhale, slowly bring the right knee back up to your chest, and then exhale here. Now, if you did a little moving on your bolster, good time to kind of move it around. Again, make sure that it's at about your waistline. That's where you know you want it. Now let's begin with the right knee to the chest. Taking the left leg and inhaling it straight out in front of you, or out away from you. And then as you exhale, really trying to get that leg to the floor. I'm much tighter on my left leg than I am on my right. Now, inhale, kick that leg straight, and as you exhale, try to get that heel to the floor. Use those glutes. Nice, deep inhaling, straightening, kicking the leg away, and exhaling, pushing that heel, squeezing the glutes as you go down into the floor. One more time. Deep inhale, straightening that leg, and exhaling, kicking that leg
pushing it down as you engage through the glutes. Holding this contraction. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Left leg, inhaling it back up to your chest and exhaling here. All right, once again, move your bolster if you feel like you need to. I'm going to take a moment here to do a little bit of opening through our hamstrings in an inversion. So really nice way to kind of make sure that you're only getting hamstrings and sciatic nerve. You're not in your back. You're not in anywhere that you shouldn't be. So take your left knee, hug it nice and close to your chest for me. Right leg, just gently rest your foot onto the floor. So your knee is bent, your foot is resting onto the floor. Keeping your knee to your chest here. Take a nice deep inhale, hands are to the underside of the thigh. And then as you exhale, pulling that knee nice and deep into the chest. Can you take your left toes and point them up towards the head? All right, so as you inhale, work on straightening that leg, using the quadriceps, lengthening to the hamstring and the sciatic nerve. And then as you exhale, gently bending down. Let's do this 4 times. Inhaling, straightening toes to the head, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. And then as you exhale, bending back down. Inhaling, lengthening the leg. Exhaling, bending it. Keeping the toes pointed the whole time to do a little bit of neural tension work at the same time as we're working through the hamstrings. Last time, inhaling, straightening through that left leg, and then as you exhale, bend it back to the chest. Take an inhale here, right knee comes up to the chest, exhale, left foot comes down towards the floor. All right, hands to the underside of that right knee now. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then exhale, pull that knee and secure it nice and easy to the chest. Left leg, make sure that your knee has not fallen out to the side, particularly if you've got some tight hip flexors. Point the toes up towards the head on this right leg. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Take an inhale here, straightening that knee as much as you can, feeling the stretch to the hamstring, maybe a little bit through the sciatic nerve. Exhaling, dropping back down. 4 more times. Inhaling, straightening through the leg, and then exhaling, relaxing back down. Inhaling, straightening, exhaling, relaxing. Always maintaining your knee to your chest here. Inhaling and straightening, and exhaling and relaxing. 1 more time. Nice deep inhale and straighten, and exhale and relax. Very nice. Left leg. Take an inhale and bring your knee up. And then as you exhale, pull your knees into your chest. All right, we're going to attempt something today, ladies and gentlemen, that is a little bit more physical therapy treatment, but we're going to give it a gusto since it is so important in trying to really open up through your back. So here's what I want you to do. Stack your knees directly on top of your hips, directly on top of your bolster. Make sure that you feel that it's the top of your pelvis that is at the edge of the bolster. Now, if you are pregnant, if you have a history of abdominal aneurysm, if you have any sort of acute flare-up of your belly, please don't stick your fingers into your belly. But those of you that feel comfortable, just gently kind of feel into your belly. You have 2 hip pointers. All I want you to do today is just to kind of take your fingers and push into your belly in between those 2 hip pointers. Believe it or not, you're very, very close to your spine. So here's all we're going to do. We're going to work on trying to do a pelvic tilt. All right? So all we're going to try to do is just kind of wiggle our legs a little tiny bit and try to let our spine settle down towards the floor. So just gently place your fingers into your belly if you're comfortable with that. Again, I listed those people. Don't do that. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Now, gently take a nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, imagine your pelvis tilting as your belly kind of sinks in and your spine goes towards the floor. You got it, guys. Take a deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, literally imagine all of this falling towards the floor. One more time. Inhaling here, and then as you exhale, imagine the spine just dropping towards the floor. All right, now here's the real challenge. Can you keep that pelvis in that tilt? Can you take an inhale, and with your right leg, can you step your right foot to the floor? Yes. Keep that tilt, keep that space in your spine. Take an inhale here, and then with that left leg, can you drop that left leg to the floor? Very nice. Hold that position. You might be using some hamstrings right now. That's okay. Make sure that your knees are not too wide apart and they're lined up with your hips. Take a deep inhale into your diaphragm. And exhale it out. One more breath. Nice deep inhale. And exhale it out. Beautiful. Right leg, inhale, bring it back up to your chest. Exhaling here. Left leg, inhale it back up to your chest, and then exhale it here. All right, now what we need to do is we need to get off of our bolster. Nice and simple from this position. All you need to do, whether you're on a cushion or a bolster, is just slightly use your upper abdominals and your hip flexors and just push the bolster away from you. Once the bolster is away from you, either to your left or right side, all you need to do is just simply move it beside you, either to the left or to the right, so that it is no longer in your way to be able to now do some exercises laying on your back. All right, once you're in this position, kind of just check in that you feel like you're in the center of your bolster. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. And once you've done that, allow yourself to take your right knee to your chest. And take a nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, pull your knee nice and deep into your chest. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. One more time, nice deep inhale. Exhale, pull that knee into your chest. Left leg. Take an inhale here, and on the exhale, slide that leg straight down the mat. All right, so the same thing that we were doing on our bolster, but now we don't have that inversion. So a lot easier to get our left leg straight and keep our right knee to our chest. So here's what we're gonna do, a little dance with our breath and a dance with our legs. So on the inhale, straighten the left knee and push the leg into the floor. And then on your exhale, pull your right knee into your chest. Inhale, push the left leg down into the floor. Exhale, pull the right knee into your chest. Left leg. Inhale, push it down into the floor. And then as you exhale, pull the right knee into the chest. Beautiful. Now with your left leg, inhale, slide it back up. Right leg, exhale, bending it back down towards the mat. Repeating this on the opposite side. So take that inhale, left knee into your chest, and exhale here. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin into your throat. One more breath, please. Inhaling here, exhaling, pulling your knee into your chest. Now with your right leg, take that inhale and exhale, slide that leg straight down the mat. Make sure it doesn't go out to the side, but rather it's straight down your mat. So same thing that we did on the opposite side. So inhale, push the right leg down into the mat, and then as you exhale, pull the left knee in. Inhaling, pushing the right leg down into the mat, and exhaling, pulling the left knee in. One more breath. Inhaling, pushing the right leg down, and then exhaling, pulling that left knee in. Right leg. Inhale, slide it back up. Exhaling, dropping the left foot to the floor. All right, time for you to grab your yoga block or whatever you're using that's similar to a yoga block. We're gonna do a little bit of a hip capsule opening, mostly to kind of target the outside of the hip and get a little bit more flexibility in our hip flexors. So take your block and place it in your right hand. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. Take the block and place it against your right knee. Now you can hold the block however you choose. Take your left hand now and place it underneath your left buttock. Now, as you place it underneath your left buttock, I really want you to almost push your weight of your pelvis down like you're further imprinting your left hand onto the mat. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Now take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, start to push the right knee away. Do not unload the hand. So keep the pelvis down on the mat. So this is very specifically about the outside of your right hip. Sitting down into the left hand, keeping that engagement of your back and your abdominals to do that. Take another deep inhale, and then on the exhale, pushing that right knee away a little bit further. Now holding here and finding your diaphragmatic breath. Nice deep inhale into your belly and exhaling outward. Inhaling into your belly and exhaling outward. Inhaling here and then exhaling, releasing the leg, releasing the block, releasing the left hand, changing the block to the left hand, uncrossing the right leg, taking the left ankle now and crossing it over the right knee, block against the left knee, right hand this time underneath the right buttock. So again, allow yourself to contract your back muscles, your abdominals, maybe even a little bit of the hamstrings on this right side to keep yourself firmly from not rotating so that any bit of rotation happens merely with this left hip. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. And take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, push that left knee away. Focus on feeling this stretch in the outside of the left hip. Nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, just gently pushing that knee away. Keep the weight into the right hand. Don't let your buttock on the right side come off your mat. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Taking an inhale here. And then on the exhale, slowly allowing yourself to uncross the leg, move the block a little bit out of your way, and take the right hand from underneath you. All right, we're going to do one more thing for our gluteals and our hip rotators to attempt to get a nice good stretch and balance before we start to really begin our strengthening for the day. So here's what I'd like you to do. Take your left foot and place it to the center of the mat, and take your right leg and cross it all the way over your left leg. So no space between the legs if you can make that happen. Then take a nice deep inhale. Using your abdominals and your hip flexors, pull your knees to your chest. Now, take your hands and hold underneath the left leg. If you have some tightness in your hips, tightness in your shoulders, tightness in your rib cage that you cannot get your hands underneath, you can hold on to the side of your pants. You don't have to hold all the way underneath. You don't need a strap because we're not staying here. We're going to try to beautifully attempt our butterfly pose. From here, everybody figure out what is your right foot. Then take your left hand and grab your right shin, your right calf, or your right ankle. Figure out what your left foot is. Right hand, grab your shin, your calf, or your ankle so that you've got two ankles, two shins, and knees in the center of your body. So take a moment to look and see, are my knees in the center of my body? Do I see chin, chest, knee, knee? Move yourself around if you need to before we go any further. And then take a nice deep inhale. And then on your exhale, try to bend your elbows and pull your knees to your chest as you wing your butterflies of your feet outward. Nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pull those ankles up towards those shoulders. All right, you should be really nicely feeling this in your buttock and your hip rotators. So take a deep inhale into your belly. Can you get that inhale all the way to your pelvic floor? And then as you exhale, relax. One more breath here. Nice deep inhale in. And then exhaling and relaxing. Slowly releasing the right hand from the left leg, the left hand from the right leg. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, drop the left foot to the floor. Uncross the legs, and let's try it all over again on the opposite side. So left leg, cross it over your right leg. Right foot should be somewhere in the center of your mat. From there, take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull your knees up towards your chest. Again, you don't have to interlace behind your right knee. We're not staying here. All right, everyone, start to wiggle your left toes. Let yourself know which one is your left. Figure out your right hand and bring your right hand to your left shin, ankle, anywhere that you can hold on that left side. Now you only have one hand and one leg left. So left hand, right foot, see if you can grab somewhere on there. If you can barely grab, just hold pants or something like that. But see if you can gently find a hold of either the shin, the calf, or the ankle. Now take a moment just to kind of look. Do you have forehead, chin, chest, knee, and knee? Once you see that you've got that, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, drop your rib cage down. And then take a nice deep inhale here. And on the exhale, pull the knees into the chest, but bend those elbows and try to bring those ankles up towards those shoulders. Oh boy, my left hip is talking to me today. Nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pull those ankles upward, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. All right, let's find that deep diaphragmatic breath all the way to your pelvic floor. So deep inhale. And exhale. Soften your face, guys. Look like you're having fun. Nice deep inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Slowly releasing the left hand from the right ankle and the right hand from the left ankle, holding your legs here. Taking a deep inhale, tightening your abdominals. And then as you exhale, gently dropping your right foot to the floor and then uncrossing your legs. All right, now is our time to try to get some good neuromuscular re-education of the muscles that we need to keep our spine strong and stable. So we've done everything to open up through our low back, everything to open up through our hip flexors. We even did a little bit through our hamstrings and a nerve glide for our sciatic nerve. So now let's work on getting a little bit more strength to our gluteals and a little bit more strength to our anterior core. So here's what I want you to do. We're going to do bridging. So what I want to show you very quickly, please look in the screen if you don't know how to efficiently bridge. What I want to show you very quickly is what not to do. So I'm just going to kind of expose my belly for a second. So what not to do, and I intentionally wore these pants so that you guys would be able to see the waistband today. As we bridge, I don't want you to pelvic tilt to lift yourself up. That is called using your hamstrings. We want to find some gluteal muscles. The other thing I don't want you to do is use your back muscles. So don't do a bridge by just arching your back up and lifting your hips straight to the ceiling. Instead, here's what we want to do. Everybody come along with me. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, harden your belly. Make your muscles strong and hard here. Now, the focus is on your knees moving away from your pelvis and your spine. So take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, lift your hips up so that your knees go away from you. You might get 2 inches, you might get 3 inches, but that's all you're gonna get. In this position now, here's what I want you to do. Start to squeeze your glutes. Start to push into the floor with your feet. As you do that, take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, make sure you're tightening your abdominals and squeeze through the glutes and push away. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, tighten the abdominals, squeeze the glutes and push away. Take a deep inhale here, and then exhale, slowly drop back down. Bring one knee to your chest, followed by the other. All right, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale in, and then exhale, pull your knees to your chest. Well, we're not done yet. Let's do it again. So slowly drop your feet down, hip distance, so about 2 fists between your knees, right? Allow yourself to feel where your neutral pelvis is, so your back should be a little bit off of the floor. No pelvic tilt, ladies and gentlemen. No arch through your back, ladies and gentlemen. Use your abdominals to keep your pelvis perfectly still. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, harden your abdominals. Now, inhaling here, and then on the exhale, no arch or tilt through the pelvis, just push the knees away. So for me, I'm getting 2 inches off the floor, but it is all the right muscles. All right, inhaling here, exhaling, squeeze the glutes, and now push into the floor. Deep inhale in. Exhale, tighten the abdominals, squeeze the glutes, push into the floor. One more breath, you have it in you. Deep inhaling in, exhaling, tightening the abdominals, squeezing the glutes, and pushing into the floor. Nice deep inhale, and exhale. Drop the hips down, pull the knees back up into the chest. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, take a deep inhale here, and as you exhale, pull your knees up and in. All right, keeping your knees gently to your chest. So we have stretched out our low back. We have stretched out our hip flexors. That was one part of that cross. We have now done 2 sets of strengthening exercises for our gluteal muscles. The only thing we've really got left is our core. So let's work through a great exercise to really build up the contraction and turn on all the muscles that create stability of your trunk. So allow your knees to be slightly in front of your hips. So don't have yourself perfectly stacked one on top, but rather your knees slightly in front of your hips. Drop your feet down so that your shin bones are not parallel with the ceiling. But take your toes and point your toes up towards your head. You have a couple of options for your head here. Option number 1, lengthen your neck and settle your chin in and look at your knees. Option number 2, you can kind of take your chin to your chest and look upward towards your pelvis or your belly button. You pick which is ready for you to do. Take your hands and gently place your hands on the front of your thighs. Now, don't do anything other than place them right now. Once you've placed your hands on your thighs, we're kind of doing a little bit of an arm wrestling with hands and thighs. So allow yourself to very lightly push your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. Just enough that you feel tissue is pushing against one another. Then here's what I really want you to do. Keeping your fingertips off of your legs, try to lift your legs upward towards the ceiling. So in the physical therapy world, we call that traction. And as you do that, you will feel the muscles of your trunk begin to contract. Hopefully, even a little bit of shaking might happen. Again, keep your neck long, your chin tucked, or allow yourself to come up into a full flexion. Now take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Make sure your toes are up. Deep inhale in and exhale out. Deep inhale in and exhale out, gently relaxing here. I hope somebody was shaking as much as I was. Now, keep everything where it is. But now take your right hand to your left thigh and your left hand to your right thigh. So you're now in a crossed position with your hands. Knees are still gently above your hips, heels are dropped, toes are pointed upward. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Option 1. Option 2, allow yourself to gently pull your head up into a bit of a curl. Same deal. Start to lightly push hands into knees and knees into hands. Now, start to lift the legs up, also known as traction. Now, hold that contraction. I'm getting lots of shaking. I hope you are too. Take a deep inhale here and an exhale. And an inhale, and an exhale, and an inhale, and an exhale. Last inhale, and exhaling down. Beautiful. Now release your hands. Take them to the tops of your shins. We're not done, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your hands to the tops of your shins. Don't fully pull your knees to your chest. Keep them where they are, but now point your toes away from you. We're going to kind of start to fire those deep muscles that stabilize our spine and our back now. So with your hands to the tops of your shins and your toes pointed away, neck is long, chin is tucked in. You can stay in this position, or once again, you can come up into a bit of curl if you like. I want you to put your hands on your shins and feel like you're pulling your knees to your chest, but your legs are going to combat that and arm wrestle to gently push away. Once you have that, point your thumbs up to the ceiling and try to lift upward. And as you lift up, you'll feel those muscles contract. Holding that contraction, take a deep inhale and an exhale. So knees are pushing away, hands are pushing towards. Deep inhale, point those toes away, and exhale. One more time, nice deep inhale and exhale, and relax here. We have to go back to the first one more time. Then I promise we're done. So point your toes up. Left hand, left thigh. Right hand, right thigh. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, or pull yourself up into flexion. You pick. I'm doing flexion today. Start to push hands into thighs, thighs into hands, and then lift those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Deep inhaling in and exhaling out. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. One more breath. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Hold it here. Another inhale and exhale. Relax down. Pull your knees into your chest. Relax your ankles. Maybe even do some circles. Now, that is a great technique that in the physical therapy world, specifically with the Institute of Physical Art, we call push, cross, pull, push. Push, cross, pull, push. I encourage you to do it every single day. All right, now here's what you're doing. Start to rock yourself side to side. And then continue rocking until you literally roll yourself onto your side. Then gently push yourself up into a seated position. All right, grab your bolster and then place it on your yoga mat. We are going to do our spinal twist today with a bolster. So this is a very nice, it's actually a yin pose, but we're going to hold it a little bit less than a yin pose. So yin poses generally are held about 5 minutes. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. So allow your knees to stack one on top of the other. Allow your shin bones to run parallel with the mat. Have it so that your left or right, depending on what side you're on right now, sit bone is touching your bolster. Then take your hands and straddle the bolster. Make sure that your knees stay stacked. It's not uncommon to create a rotation through your pelvis.
So really focus on keeping those knees stacked. If you have tension or pain in the hip that you're laying on right now, sometimes it is beneficial to use a block between your legs. It unloads a bit that lower hip. So you can do that as well if you like. From here, imagine your rib cage lifting up and away from your pelvis. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, drop your chest down on your bolster, drop your elbows down, check in that your knees are still in alignment. Now, this is a modification of a spinal twist. So you have two options here. If you've got a tight neck, you can just gently rest your left ear down onto your mat. If you don't have a tight neck and you want to complete that full spinal rotation, then you can turn and place your right ear on your mat. For the sake of you hearing me, I'm going to stay with my left ear on my mat today. Check in with your knees. Check in that your chest is resting on your bolster. Now that you've checked in with everything, let it go. Close your eyes. Rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Soften your face. Soften your body. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly, ladies and gentlemen. And then as you exhale, slowly relax. Deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, slowly relax. And deep inhale in. And exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhaling in and exhaling out. And inhaling in and exhaling out. Now taking your hands and placing them underneath your shoulders, and on an inhale, pushing yourself up, and then just allowing yourself to rotate just 180 degrees on your bolster. So for you, all you need to do is just kind of turn. I, on the other hand, am going to flip my bolster so that I'm facing you and I don't have my back to the screen and the camera. So again, place yourself in a position that your bolster is centered in your mat. Once your bolster is centered in your mat, have the pelvis bone touching the base of your bolster. Take your knees and stack your knees up. Shin bones, line them up with the side of your bolster. Once you're there, allow yourself to straddle the bolster so that you're kind of facing forward with your chest and your collarbones. Keeping yourself with your knees aligned. Again, if your right hip is beginning to bother you right now, place the block between the knees. It will unload a bit of the tension from that hip. Take a nice deep inhale in, and as you inhale, lengthen the rib cage away from the pelvis, and as you exhale, drop everything down onto the bolster. Keeping the knees nice and stacked, relaxing through there, dropping the elbows down, dropping the head down onto the bolster. So again, easy way, having the right ear touching if you're in the same pose as I am right now. Full spinal twist would be to gently rotate and drop the left ear to the bolster. And so you pick what is good for you. I'm going to rest on the same side so that I'm facing you and you can hear me. Allow everything to now fully relax. Soften your face, close your eyes, rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And then take a nice deep inhale in. And slow exhale out. Deep inhale in. And slow exhale out. Deep inhale in. And exhaling
2 more to make it to 5. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. Taking your hands and placing them underneath your shoulders and pushing yourself up. Okay, going to our final pose for the day, something called queen pose. So here's what I want you to do. Take your block and place it at the end of your yoga mat, and then take your bolster and gently place it on top of your block. So it puts you on a nice gentle incline. From here, and take your body and gently place your tailbone and your sacrum, the center of your pelvis, right to that bolster. Take your feet and place your feet hip distance apart, knees are stacked, and they're in line with your hips. Allow yourself to use the strength of your arms to drop yourself down into your incline pose. So very gently allow yourself to fall back onto your bolster. Once you feel like you're in your position, lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Allow your rib cage to rest down. Don't have your rib cage lifted up into the ceiling, but rest it down. Arms gently drop out to the side. Now you have several options for your feet. Option 1, take your feet the width of your mat and slowly drop your knees to touch one another. Option 2, take your feet towards one another and slowly let your legs fall out to the side as the bottoms of your feet kind of hit one another. Finally, option 3, allow the legs to fall to the corners of the mat. Now, check back in that you've lengthened your neck, you've settled your chin. Allow yourself to just rest right here. And let's go back to just thinking about the square breath. And so allow yourself to visualize a square. You can draw it or you can see it. And once you visualize your square, take a moment to think about that you would inhale the left side of the square and that you would hold your breath for the top part of the square and that you would exhale down the right side of the square and that you would hold your breath again for the bottom of the square. If you feel like you want to practice it one more time, take these last moments of class to do so, or if not, just allow yourself to visualize the movement of air through the sides of the square. Now begin to slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes and maybe some circles with your wrists and your ankles. And then when you feel like you're ready, if your legs are straight out, gently allow your legs to come inward. If your legs were out to the side, slowly pull them inward. If your feet were out to the side, slowly walk your feet back in. Once your feet are hip distance apart, allow yourself to very gently roll off of your bolster and then find yourself seated at the base of your bolster. Hands are to your heart and smiles are on our faces. Let's take a nice deep inhale in here and exhale out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you, guys.